Good morning. How is everybody today? Oh, it's Friday. We made it another week. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, it's been a busy week and a lot of processing and a lot of not difficult decisions, but I'm learning to really integrate. I don't know how to explain it. As a teacher, sometimes when I teach, I remember things, if that makes any kind of sense. And sometimes afterwards, I have to integrate that information. So it's almost like I get an active download from the universe when I'm teaching sometimes. Or when I'm in that moment, I get that knowing. And then later, I have to kind of think about it and integrate it and go, oh yeah, that's what that message was for. And sometimes it's for me and sometimes it's not. And sometimes it is for all of us together, right? Anyway, this week has been kind of an integration of a couple things, which has been amazing. Let's see. So today's card is the last card of the Earth Warriors Oracle. I've managed to go through the entire Oracle this year. And this card is 36, Soma from the Galactic Heart. Mayu. Beautiful card. Her throat, heart, and all of her chakras are present. Sorry, I should say that right. Well, most of them. Excuse me. Deep breath. I've really had the word soma and somatic and soma repeated a lot the last couple weeks. And so it's been really interesting that I've had that word come up so much. And then I had a workshop thing that I kind of stumbled into on Sunday. Very much body integration type information. I'm still working. Again, I'm integrating. I'm kind of working on what does that mean? How do I really connect in with the information to be able to turn around and with clarity share that information. Because interestingly enough, I think I've been teaching it for a long time, but using a different set of words. And I like this new information because this new information is a different set of words, which restructures and integrates, again, what I have always known, but didn't have the words for it. And I'm just going to start in the book with the prayer from this card because it's just beautiful. I invoke the unconditional love of the galactic heart and give thanks for all that is good, true, and nourishing of my being on all levels through unconditional love. I surrender with forgiveness and blessing any issue to do with mothering or being mothered, whether too much or too little. I release myself from false guilt, shame, and judgment now. I release the mother figures in my life with forgiveness in my heart, for I no longer wish to hold on to old pain. I acknowledge I am worthy and deserving of nourishment, straight from the sacred milk of unconditional love from the Galactic Mother. May all mothers receive healing and guidance, blessing and assistance from the Divine Mother of all souls. With trust, I open myself now to receive what is needed for the ecstatic fulfillment of my own being through divine grace with gratitude. Blessed be. And the reason I wanted to read that first is when I, as a child, was not mothered, and when you pull pieces and it clicks. So yesterday I had a reconnection with my dear friend John. He's just amazing, just a beautiful soul. And we were talking about narcissistic relationships a little bit, and I've been working on some inner child work from when I was a child, and my mother's a narcissist, my biological mother. I've had some amazing mother figures in my life, but narcissistic behavior when you're a child, narcissistic behavior towards you from your mother as a child can wound you, and it can wound that inner child. And I'm working on pre-verbal inner child stuff that I'm having some amazing breakthroughs in things that I have struggled with, but I didn't realize that they were kind of getting in the way of different things, right? And when I pulled this card, this is the perfect card for this week, because it definitely talks about going through the spiritual soul feeding process and reconnecting your heart to the universe, connecting that love and that joy to Universal Mother, and discovery and development and expression of all of the layers of who I am. And I love this. If you develop your spiritual practice, you shall come to an experience of feeling almost drunk on divine bliss, like a baby in an ecstasy of complete fulfillment through the mother's milk. And I keep thinking that as the week has gone on, I have connected more and more to my joy and to my bliss and that inner peace. And I've talked about place of peace, in your place of peace, that centeredness, that complete connection through all chakras and all places in your body. And Soma keeps coming up, I think, because there's a daily movement process that goes with this. Now, I can't seem to do yoga without hurting myself. My physical body just is like Gumby. But I can do movement. And one of the things I did this morning when I got up is I stretched. I did one of those. I stumbled across it about 3 years ago now, on YouTube. And there was this lady who has a spinal handicap, and she was doing exercises in bed. So she sits up in bed in the morning and she does these very organic, stretchy, limbering up exercises when she's sitting up in bed. And it's one of my favorite things to do, and I don't do it all the time. And so this morning when I woke up, I allowed myself to do that, and because Astra feels like she's starving first thing in the morning, so she doesn't like it when I sit up and I don't get up. But this morning she let me kind of play with her a little bit while I was doing the exercises. And it doesn't take very much time, but it allows me, I do deep breathing when I do it. So I do a lot of like deep diaphragmatic breathing, and then I shorten, and then I'll do chest breathing, and then I'll go back down and I'll do diaphragm breathing, and then I'll do throat breathing, and then I'll make sound. And I get my body moving and connecting up, all the way up, and then all the way down. And then by the time I step down onto the ground, I'm here and I'm breathing and I'm in my body and I feel limbered up and connected. And then I can come downstairs and have my cup of tea and sit. And this morning, this is the third morning I haven't done it. I haven't done like any journaling because I'm re-sitting with some information, because the last 3 days that I didn't journal first thing in the morning, I had these moments during the day where I wrote a little bit on one of my manuscript pieces. I'm integrating the information. And next week, I'm going to start back out with journaling first thing in the morning. And I'm integrating these pieces back in. And I'm somebody who I can't just say, okay, these are all the things I'm going to do every single day, because then I don't do them. I don't sustain it. So I have to start, if I'm going to do something new, I have to start slow and integrate and give my brain and body the remembering of how to bring it into my routines so that I maintain it. I like sameness, but I also love change and diversity and movement within the day. Anyway, back to the whole mother thing. I have a deep shame and a deep guilt that my children didn't live with me after they were 5-6 years old. And that grief and that shame I have had to work on. And I had to also acknowledge that I knew when I had my kids decades ago that I spent a lot of time in fear and grief, knowing that I wouldn't have them their whole lives. I knew that when I was carrying them. I think that may be why both of my pregnancies, I had high-risk pregnancies. I also had grief. I had horrible body dysmorphia when I was pregnant. I had horrible grief when I was pregnant. I had a great deal of fear when I was pregnant, and it was all anticipatory set of what I knew was going to happen. It's very rare that a psychic knows much of their own life, but when we do have that connection, when we do know what's happening, it can be very overwhelming, because normally we get those knowings about other people and there's a separation. And when it's about our own, we can get trapped in it. And I got trapped in it. And in that trap, I didn't enjoy my children as much as I now wish that I had. And blessings to the goddess that I've had so many other children that I've been able to mother. But I grieve, and I do have guilt. And today's card, and I think this next set of movements, next set of journey in my life, is body connection and Soma and working through that grief and that guilt, but also working through my early childhood and how that lack of love and lack of care and lack of support has influenced my interpersonal relationships and give me the tools I need, right, to be able to cycle through and really trust this information coming through to write my books. I met an amazing publisher, author, and friend. She is a soul friend. I recognize her. It makes me want to cry, but it was very much, I had a friend who entered my life in 99, and it was instant recognition when she walked in the door of my apartment. And this new person is another one of those instant recognitions. I instantly recognized her. And both of these women, ironically, well, not ironically, because I recognize who they are, but both of these women are writers and editors and oh my goodness, I go years without meeting someone new that I recognize, well, that are impactful in this blueprint. I see people all the time I recognize, but it's this validating, okay, you got to be working on your book. But when I met her this time, right, she said something about the power of your story and the power of sharing that journey is the light. And then she went on to say something else, and I went, that's the statement I needed to hear. The power of your journey is the light that you can share. And we all have journeys. We all have journeys. And everybody's journey is different. And we all have a different lesson or a piece, or sometimes it's the sharedness of the likeness of that journey that brings us together. And I've said it before, women have amazing power. We carry life within our bodies. We nourish new life. And that's an amazing amount of power. And we have to honor that to do it justice. We have to honor that to share its light and its beauty with each other. And I need to get back to connecting with my body. And I've spent the last decade kind of not. I mean, I've been connecting, but not. Because my body is painful. But I can also choose not to be in pain, and I know that. So this whole Soma body journey is me figuring out how to be in my body fully, all of the different places and all of the different connections, because I know that I can connect to my body in ways that I've been told over and over and over again. How do you do that so well? I mean, I go into weightlifting and they're like, if I describe the position, you go there. When I dance, I don't dance by myself naturally, so to speak. I connect in with a partner and I connect into their energy. When I swim, it's not my body, it's me connecting with the energy of the water. I really want to get back to skating, because I know that skating, when I was much younger, that helped me balance all of those bits that I'm a walking klutz. I have a very difficult time connecting without connecting. So I need to connect. Does that make sense? I feel like I've just talked all the way around it. I'm a klutz. I'm horrible in my body, but yet I can, when I choose to, ground into the pelvis, or ground in and connect into my back, or connect into my chest, or connect into my head. Like, I have the ability to do that, and I learned to do it as a very young child so that I could be here. And so Soma, and working through the traumas in the different parts of my body by doing movement and by doing these exercises and releasing the expectations of mother and letting go of the guilt and working mother, body, Soma, shame, early childhood, early nonverbal child inside. Those are all connected. They're not separate. Well, they are separate, but they're all connected. Anyway, that's today's journey for Daily Devotional. It's the last card of the deck. So we're going to move into another deck next week. I'm really excited about that. I pulled a card from that a couple weeks ago. This deck that I've been going through is the Earth Warriors Oracle right here. And we've just finished that this year. And I think that was a beautiful journey together. And we're going to start on the new deck, and I'm really excited about that. And I hope everyone has a beautiful day today, a beautiful weekend. I wish you blessings, and I will see you on Monday. Blessed be.